This presentation is intended to educate all players, team officials, on-ice officials, off-ice officials, and parents about the new Section 11 within the Hockey Canada playing rules surrounding maltreatment, which is a primary focus for Hockey Canada moving forward this season. Generally, what is maltreatment? Maltreatment consists of acts that result in actual or the potential of physical or psychological harm. This includes, but is not limited to, physical, psychological, or sexual actions, as detailed below. Physical assaults or unwanted physical contact, abuse, non-contact behavior such as denying hydration or nutrition, which are forms of neglect, or even corruption, which is providing alcohol to participants that are under legal age, etc. So there are many forms of physical maltreatment. Psychological maltreatment. Verbal assault or attacks, essentially bullying or unwanted physical contact without consent, denying attention or support, which are also forms of neglect that can negatively impact a participant's mental health. Sexual, unwanted contact of a sexual nature or any part of a person's body, showing sexual videos or images, or unwanted conversation or teasing of a sexual nature. So what is Hockey Canada's commitment? Hockey Canada believes that every person should have a positive experience in hockey. Maltreatment is incompatible with the core values of Canadian sport. It's easy to say that discrimination, and harassment, and abuse have no place in the game, but we all play a role in making that a reality. Participants in Hockey Canada's programming should have the reasonable expectation that it will be an environment that is accessible, inclusive, and free from all forms of maltreatment. Additionally, Hockey Canada is committed to contributing to the physical, psychological, social, and spiritual health of individuals of varying abilities, backgrounds, and interests. Hockey Canada firmly believes that only when sport environments are safe and inclusive can these values be realized. Maltreatment in all its forms is a serious issue that undermines the health, well-being, performance, and security of everyone associated with the game. What are the responsibilities of team officials? Team officials shall always be responsible for their conduct and that of their players. They must endeavor to prevent disorderly conduct before, during, or after the game, on or off the ice, and any place in the rink. The referee may assess penalties to any team officials for failure to do so. Here is a summary of the playing rule updates that have been made as part of Section 11's creation for maltreatment. First, we have to look at what has changed. Here's a list of the fouls that used to be listed under Section 9. You'll note that these rules have been removed from Section 9 and will be relocated under new Section 11 under maltreatment. Therefore, there are no changes to the remaining rules in Section 9. The overall section has just been condensed. So what has changed with the creation of new Section 11, maltreatment? We'll start with Rules 11.1 and 11.2, which are unsportsmanlike conduct, 11.1, and disrespectful, abusive, and harassing behavior, 11.2. Rule 11.1 unsportsmanlike conduct, Part A, a minor penalty shall be assessed to any player, goaltender, or team official who challenges or disputes the ruling of any official during the game, or who displays unsportsmanlike conduct. Part B, a misconduct penalty shall be assessed to any player or goaltender who, after receiving a penalty under Rule 11.1a, persists. C, a game misconduct penalty shall be assessed to any player or goaltender who, after receiving a misconduct penalty under Rule 11.1b, persists. Participants may respectfully disagree with an official or even request clarification of a ruling to be answered at the official's discretion. However, should it appear that an individual is continuing to challenge or dispute an official, that individual may receive either a warning or a penalty immediately. An official is not required to give a warning before penalization and may proceed directly to Part B or C if deemed necessary. Therefore, a minor penalty does not have to precede a misconduct, nor a misconduct have to precede a game misconduct. Additionally, with a team official, if they've already received a minor penalty and persist, the referee will proceed immediately to Part C and assess a game misconduct, as a team official cannot receive a misconduct penalty. Also of note, profanity must be immediately penalized under either 11.1 or the grounds of 11.2, which we'll cover next. Rule 11.2, disrespectful, abusive, and harassing behavior. Part A, a misconduct penalty shall be assessed to any player or goaltender who uses disrespectful language or gestures directed to the referee or any official, or any other individual. Any team official who engages in such behavior shall be assessed a bench minor penalty rather than misconduct. B, a player, goaltender, or team official who, after receiving a penalty under Rule 11.2a above, persists in the use of disrespectful language or gestures shall be assessed a game misconduct. C, if the referee is unable to identify the person responsible for the use of disrespectful language or gestures, a bench minor penalty shall be assessed to the offending team. Again, note, a misconduct is not required before the assessment of a game misconduct in the case of a player or goaltender, and in the case of a team official, the bench minor is not required prior to moving to a game misconduct. Any conduct or behavior that is deemed under Rule 11.2 to be disrespectful, abusive, or harassing would not warrant a warning, and we would look for immediate penalization for such conduct. Notwithstanding the previously mentioned elements at the referee's discretion, a gross misconduct penalty shall be assessed to any player, goaltender, or team official who conducts himself in a manner as to make a travesty of the game by using obscene, profane, or threateningly abusive language, gestures, or actions towards any person. Such actions may also be described as verbal or physical taunts or gestures that intend to humiliate, demean, belittle, cause offense to, or harm the reputation of the person or group targeted. It is important to understand that all rules under Section 11 are applicable when such behavior is directed towards any person by a player or team official. This includes participant-to-participant maltreatment, participant-to-spectator, or even teammate-to-teammate or coach to their own players. Penalties may be applicable in all of these situations. Therefore, if officials are witness to any form of maltreatment, regardless of who the recipient of such abuse is, a penalty can be assessed. So how are officials going to be instructed to apply these rules? The first thing we like to inform them to do is recognize the difference between emotion and abuse. Games and people can get emotional, and there is an understanding and empathy that is required from an official when this occurs, if a situation is frustrating. People will not always agree with you. Officials should recognize that we can agree to disagree. Officials also need to understand that what they say is not always what people hear, so being clear and concise with their communication goes a long way. We inform officials that they must always maintain professionalism through these situations and model the behavior that we expect from the game participants. We also highly encourage during their communication that they are good listeners. We preach a 90%, 10% approach. 90% listening, 10% talking. Therefore, the things that you say will have a larger impact. When a person becomes abusive or disrespectful, the officials must address the behavior immediately with a penalty. How do we apply this rule? These rules are not only for participant to official interactions. Officials must penalize players and team officials for comments or behaviors directed to one another that violate this rule. And again, this can include members of the same team. The whole goal here is that we are eliminating forms of maltreatment from the game. Rule 11.3, spitting. There's actually no change to this existing rule. It was just previously located as Rule 9.7 and has been relocated now as Rule 11.3. Spitting must be penalized with a match penalty as it always has been, and given the current landscape of COVID-19, spitting is a point of focus for the 2021-22 season, will not be tolerated and penalized immediately. 11.4, discrimination. The primary focus of these changes are related to discriminatory language and actions in the game of hockey. Eliminating discrimination from the game is part of an official's responsibility to prevent maltreatment, but is also the responsibility of all participants. This rule pertains to both incidents that are witnessed by an official under discrimination or incidents that are reported to an official by a participant, which would be considered an allegation. Any player, goaltender, or team official who engages in verbal taunts, insults, or intimidation based on discriminatory grounds shall be assessed a gross misconduct. Discriminatory grounds include the following without limitation: race, national or ethnic origin, skin color or language spoken, religion, faith, or beliefs, age, sex, sexual orientation or gender identity or expression, marital or familial status, genetic characteristics, or disability. Reporting. The referee shall report the individuals by completing a game incident report including full details and submitting the report to the appropriate member or league delegate. On-ice allegations. If an incident occurs that was not witnessed by the officials and is reported to the referee by a game participant, the referee shall report the individuals to an appropriate member of each team's bench staff. Additionally, the referee must submit a game incident report when an allegation of discrimination has been reported to them during a game, despite no penalty being assessed. When an allegation of discrimination under Rule 11.4 is made and the official did not witness the incident, the following steps will occur. First, the official should confer as an officiating team just in case someone was witness to the incident. If an official was witness, then the gross misconduct penalty can still be assessed. However, if no official witnessed the incident, you'll proceed to Step 2. In Step 2, the officials will address the allegation with both teams, explain what was alleged, who was involved, and the potential consequences for this behavior. Despite the fact that they cannot assess a penalty because no official was witness to the incident, both teams should be well aware that the incident will still be reported. Step 3 is submitting the game incident report, which will have full details of what the officials know about the incident, who was involved, what was alleged to have been said or done, and what was observed, if anything at all. The officials will only speak to what they know, but they will be thorough with this report. The final rule, 11.5, under Section 11 maltreatment, is physical harassment of officials. Any player, goaltender, or team official who, before, during, or after a game, A, threatens the well-being of a referee, linesperson, or any off-ice official, B, attempts to strike a referee, linesperson, or any off-ice official, C, deliberately touches, holds, or pushes a referee, linesperson, or off-ice official, or D, deliberately strikes, trips, or body checks a referee, linesperson, or off-ice official, shall be assessed a match penalty, and the referee shall report the individuals by completing a game incident report. Such player, goaltender, or team official shall be suspended indefinitely pending investigation by the appropriate governing body. We'll note that A and B are threats or attempts to strike officials where no contact may actually be made, where C and D are more severe categories in progression where contact is actually made. The objective here is to change the culture. We all play a role in changing the culture of the game. Officials must work hand in hand with administrators, coaches, parents, and players. Everyone has a responsibility to support marginalized members of our sport to realize their full potential in a fair and safe environment, help change the hockey culture and make it more inclusive to all Canadians, call out discrimination because it's the right thing to do. There should be no more excuses as this is not part of the game, so we have to all work together to change the culture. The Fair Play Initiative. The Hockey Canada Fair Play Initiative is more important than ever as we collectively address issues of maltreatment in the game. Establishing a positive rapport and communication chain between coaches and officials should occur at the start of each game. Fair Play Initiative is officials approaching each bench as a team and introducing themselves to the team officials. Handshakes will not be mandatory as we respect every person's comfort level with physical contact at these times. However, it is encouraged to open that dialogue before the game starts in a sportsmanlike and positive manner in order to facilitate a fair and safe game.